Sisters,
we shall not yield to tyranny.
Our cause just we will prevail. The fight
Hello,
for our
Mr.
rights.
Buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this
Hello,
point,
history.
shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. I shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're the number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, you know, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
Patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty. This is what
so
American
freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is brava. Brothers
I
and
was
sisters.
working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, there's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see them, man. So
My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real coach. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Alpine Tour captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
The
Welcome to my
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong. Full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
Vocabulary up because I'm throwing out words like hubris, acquiesce, verbose. What are you going to do about the dichotomy of the nuance?
To the encampment. For liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
Endures through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Our cause in doing.
I'm going to go out on the limb and say anybody that sits in that oval does not like Americans. They love United States, though, which is the politics, but they don't love the Americans. Americans are farmers. Americans are mechanics. Americans are school teachers. Americans are mom and pop businesses.
And bribing! Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam, my Black people on code, you know, my people that's allies with us, it's part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
The cause to victory.
To victory. These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.
Mason, no more talking, right? Last time? Okay. Never gonna do that again. No, sir. We learned how.
Yeah, man. Thanks for taking accountability.
And we did download those videos, right? We did download those videos. But we deleted them? Okay, fine. And you admitted everything to the police? Okay. And all the allegations were true, right?
Not all, but some, yes.
Okay, well, the child porn stuff was true, right? Okay. I respect the hell out of that man. Y'all, genuinely, he took responsibility for it. He wants a life after this. He's gonna do better, right? He gave his life to Christ. He admitted to it. Y'all. Oh. Had this Uno reverse card. Because I had put in the Discord that you were innocent, but you weren't.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
Hi, I'm Kim.
It's Mia. And tonight on the new party, we will be breaking down a very unfortunate viral situation. There is a looks maxer by the name of Hulu that has been exposed now for allegedly CP. Gray, as a father of young girls, what's your thoughts when you hear stories like these?
Obviously, as a father, is horrendous. I don't know much about this looks maxer or like what happened from the video that you played. He seems like a young kid. So, like, what is the age difference? And but we got child porn, then obviously he's screwed. So, like, of course, this is horrific. He should be charged if he did it, and we have to protect children.
I mean, this story has gotten so big that even the most famous looks maxer, the original himself, has reacted to it. I'll play the clip. Guys, if you're watching, let's stay in the algorithm. Please hit the like button. Here we go.
Wait, hello? Oh, yeah, what was that?
Oh, yeah, did you see that? Max $25, though.
Wait, so what? I don't understand. What?
He got caught. His ex-girlfriend exposed him for buying CP. But the cunt was so stingy, he put max $25. He wasn't going to go a cent over.
Bruh.
So people are like, here's what Holo could have done with $25 instead. And they're like ordering at a Burger King, but it's like 25 with 50. He's like, no. Holo would have never gone a cent over that. Cut with max.
Max. Yeah.
So, Mia, what's your thoughts about that clip? It seems like they're exposing him via screenshots and text messages. These are pretty serious allegations.
Yeah, I'd say definitely very, very serious allegations. Obviously, obtaining, distributing, or anything like that of that kind of illicit, illegal material is illegal, and he should go to jail or to prison specifically for even having that. And I mean, there's not much to say beyond that. He had illicit material, and hopefully the police do their job and he ends up in prison where he belongs. Regardless of how old he is, everybody knows having that kind of material is illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal. And one of the largest YouTubers, Jadion, is behind covering it. We will start talking about his stream. This is like breaking news from his stream. But basically, he did an expose and he caught him and he confronted him. And that was today. So 1 second, let me pull that up. Where's the sound? Oh, here we go.
Was thinking that he was cheating on her. So she goes through his phone, and in all honesty, it's sad to say, but it actually would have been better if he had just been cheating on her. But when she goes over his phone, she finds the worst possible thing. This man was on Telegram. This man was on Telegram buying CP or CSAM, child sexual abuse material, or you guys might know it as called CP. Not only was he buying it, but he was bargaining. Like he was bartering. Like he was like, yo, let me get it for 25. Like literally at one of the things, so you're gonna be seeing people in my chat saying 25 max. In one of the screenshots, he tells the CP supplier, the CSAM supplier, yo, he was like, I'm selling it for like $50. And this man Hollow was like 25 max. And now it's become a meme. It became so much of a meme that this donut, this is what really made me want to go after him, is this donut freaking 5x5. He's making memes about it. He's making memes about it himself. Absolutely disgusting behavior, subhuman activity, man. And the whole reason why he's trying to do it like this is because he wants to water this down. He wants to make the situation not seem like it's that big of a deal. He was also going around spreading false information. This man and his fans, let me show you guys this real quick. So this was his girlfriend, now his ex-girlfriend. This is one of the videos that she had posted. So he posted saying, no stress, there's always two sides to a story. This is Hollow talking. Coincident that she's overly pushing, trying to get this out on social media after us separating. Easiest way to spread misleading information.
Okay, Kimberly. So sometimes women do lie on men. Do you think that is the situation? Or do you think he's possibly guilty?
There's screenshots, no?
Yes, there's screenshots. We'll play that next.
I mean, there are screenshots, but I am curious, like what we have already. Sure, there's a possibility she could be upset because they're dating and she's trying to like cancel him or whatever. That happens. But if there are screenshots already, it is a little unsettling that he's like kind of making light of the situation himself. That's kind of weird. Also, I think it's just so weird. It's so weird. I took this course a couple years back. It was like an online conference that talks about just how bad the whole CP thing is online. It's bad. Like on Instagram alone, I think like a week they take down like 2,500 pages. They've caught people selling, trafficking, pictures, videos of the worst possible things you can imagine of little girls and little boys. It's really bad. And when I see it like actually happen, you kind of forget, like you don't put like a face to like people out there buying this stuff. And you probably, well, at least me, like I picture like ugly, fat people, unattractive, but it's not always that. Sometimes it's people who have girlfriends who don't really need it. It's weird. Like he's probably getting laid. It's like a whole mental health thing, which you can already tell. I'm sorry, that he's probably not okay, because the looks maxing thing is also a mental health issue. This is weird. But you said you're going to show the screenshots of what there is?
Yeah, I'm going to show the screenshots of what there is. We're going to go and put it to 1955, and then I'll get everyone's reactions. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button. After this story, we will be covering the Nick Shirley going to Cuba story. And if we have time, Ron DeSantis and what happened in Florida today, which might affect midterms. But here we go. 1955. Whoops. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Let me play the commercial first.
Do I sound really bad, or can you guys understand me?
I can understand you.
Because I can't really hear myself very well.
Oh, you just sound like really like stuffy.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
This is just one of the Telegram messages that he was talking to. All right, chat? So let's go over this. So as you guys can see first, he messaged first. He said, hi. This is what the trader said. CP, teens, and all group links available. Which package are you interested in, and what's your budget? He said CP, $25 max. So that's where the meme comes from, y'all. That's where the meme comes from. But there's more. There's more. There's way more other, like, stuff that I can't even have on my freaking computer and stuff that I'm not going to show you guys. But this is the PG version, okay? So let's continue. I get a quality CP mega link with large good files of 2,500 HD vid files. Okay, cool. How would you like payment? So this man is over here telling this person that he wants to get a link for 2,500 videos. 2,500 HD quality videos, chat. He wants a link to that. This man right here, the Mogger himself. And he's still posting like, you know, this situation is not a big deal. 2,500 videos. 2,500. Okay, cool. How would you like payment? And YouTube, you saw the police presence, right, chat? You guys saw the police presence? Put a W in the chat if you guys saw the police presence. Razer Gold gift card or Chime Good. I haven't used either. Do you have Cash App, Bitcoin, or Venmo, PayPal? So he's asking for ways to get this money through. They were telling him to buy like a Razer gift card or whatever. Da 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 da. So he's going through it. Yes, yes, yes. And this is his now ex on his phone recording this, right? Okay, they said payment received. Hold as I get the mega links from my mega links website. And this man said, okay, with an exclamation point. He was excited. This man was excited to get 2,500 videos of children being brutalized. This is the dude that you guys are making memes of, saying Chad does what Chad wants and stuff like that. And Chad, this man has a 10-year-old sister and he has a 1-year-old sister. We need to get some forensic.
Okay, so after seeing the evidence, Gray, what's your position on it?
First off, that guy said he had something on his computer, so he need to be checked. But this is just crazy. I mean, I don't know why this is like a major thing. I don't know who this guy is. Like, I mean, all this pedophilia just constantly coming out with all these big cases. It's just crazy. So I guess when people get fame or money or power, they just don't know how to act. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, based on the evidence we see, let's take a poll. Raise your hand if you think he's guilty. All right, so I'm going to pray for you, Hulo. Hulo, if you end up watching this, we talked about this because this was trending. I'm going to pray for you. But I really think you need to take a break from the content for a while and go work on your mental health. Maybe get into church, maybe, because I feel like social media is evil and it's dark. So I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge, but I really think that ladies, beware. Just beware. Just be on the alert. Just be on the alert. But we're going to switch gears and we're going to get into our next topic of the night. Nick Shirley in Cuba. Nick Shirley allegedly got kidnapped. I'm going to be real with you all. This is giving me Fed vibes. And I'll tell you why I say that later. Nick Shirley went over to Cuba to go expose communism. He says that he can't let all the leftists have their fun. He's going to go and talk about communism too. Here he is talking about Cuban spies at his hotel.
Long story short, we had Cuban intelligence following us all around in our one day here in Cuba, and now we have made it out. We're heading to the airport right now. If this video gets posted, it means that we made it back to the United States. This has been the most crazy 24 hours of my life. This was the only taxi we could find when we tried to escape the hotel this morning. We had Cuban officials come down and we had to get interviewed, and then we escaped the hotel.
So, Mia, what do you think about him going to go save the Cubans and expose communism? What you think about that? You think the Trump administration sent him down there, or is he a journalist doing the Lord's work?
He's a grifter. That's low-hanging fruit. That's low-hanging fruit. Going to Cuba and exposing what? What is there to expose? We know what's happening in Cuba. We have Cubans that are telling us exactly what happened to them, their families, and so on and so forth. Like, I mean, National Geographic goes to Cuba and tells us exactly what's happening. He's just a grifter, and that's a low-hanging fruit. That it's like the lowest hanging fruit possible. We already know what's happening in Cuba. I mean, and I'm going to be honest, if the Cuban government was spying on him and wanting him gone, he'd be gone. So, I mean, I feel like sometimes people get this inflated sense of ego thinking that they're like the most important person in a hotel. It's like, you're not, though. You're like, yeah, you're Nick Shirley, but you're not like regular Cubans are walking by. Like, who's this white dude? They don't care. Expose what? We already know what's happening. It's weird to me. It's just low hanging fruit grift.
Yeah, I mean, it only gets worse from here. Let's hear what he had to say, detailing his experience. Here we go.
All right, depending when this comes out, or if it does, we are currently being tailed by Cuban intelligence here in Havana, Cuba. I came here. I've been wanting to make a video for so long about life in communism and showing people what communism is like in a place like Cuba, for instance. Came here to make this video, and when people think about communism, they typically just think about how communism is supposed to make everything equal, whether it be the amount of money someone makes or how food's distributed and how the markets are then controlled by the government. However, something that people do not think about, including myself, is how in communism they do not have freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of press. And therefore, they want to make sure everything that is posted or out in the world about their country is filtered or censored. So here in Cuba, as soon as I arrived into Cuba, I did everything that you need to do to come into Cuba as far as the documentations that it takes to come into Cuba. Right now, there's a big problem taking place here in Cuba, the largest humanitarian crisis they've had in maybe 50 years. And there's no oil or gas due to the blockade after Trump and the United States took over and captured Maduro. So Venezuela is no longer supporting Cuba with any oil or gas, and that also affects everything that they have, essentially, between whether it be the food or from it being the light and the power shortages here, or just the gas alone. Here in Cuba, you hardly see any cars driving around because nobody can afford gas. For 1 liter of gas, it's $10. Okay, so where am I getting? Where am I getting from here? So I go out at the airport. They seize all of my cameras. They seize both my GoPros, my Meta glasses. These are not my Meta glasses. All my microphones. However, the only thing they don't take is my iPhone camera. That's what I'm filming this on right now. They don't take my iPhone camera, and somehow they didn't get this microphone that was in the very, very bottom of my backpack. So we get out and we go start to make the video asking Cubans about life in communism, showing what's going on with the blockade, showing kind of the downfall of Cuba. One sec, I'm working on getting this out. Right now, we're currently planning our escape route out of Cuba right now. So had to respond to take a message to get out of here somehow. So we go out into the streets and we start filming this video. We're showing people what life is like in Cuba right now, how there's hardly any cars out in the streets. The buildings are like crumbling essentially.
This guy is acting like he just discovered brown people for the first time ever.
Exactly.
He's literally acting like this is groundbreaking. Like we ain't been on this. Like we haven't known about how bad it is in Cuba for decades.
When we're doing one interview near a hospital where there's a huge line outside the hospital, because here the hospitals aren't even working essentially. The lines are taking.
All right, I'm gonna mute him right quick while we talk about this. Let's break this down. My little Mexican leftist herself. What do you think about this? I mean, like, the right was making fun of the lefties when they went over there, right? And I get it. For me, I don't think nobody should be going over there right now for all these reasons. What do you think about this? Is this like a double standard, or you think that this is journalism?
I'm sure there is a double standard. They probably didn't like what he was doing. He's also over there like mocking them, so they probably felt a little disrespected. Not to say that it's okay. They should have just let him, I mean, run his mouth. I'm just curious as to how he got there, like what visa he got approved or how he was allowed to get into Cuba. That would be curious, because I'm thinking maybe he lied or misled, and then that's why they're trying to get at him like, hey, this isn't what you said you were coming over here to do. He was probably posing as a lefty to get in and then go in as a righty. And then also, I love Cuba. Leave Cuba alone, okay? There's been a crippling embargo since, I believe, 1953 on Cuba, and that's the majority of the reason why.
Here he is talking about answering your question.
In journalist activity.
Let me
But since we left the airport, we had been getting told, or the word had gotten out, that there was a journalist inside of Cuba. There's only 2 flights that come in here every single day. Okay. So it wasn't hard to spot out who the journalist was. And that's what my tourist visa said. That's what my visa said. It said for journalistic activities. So you can come here. There's 12 categories in which you can come, and journalist activities is one of those. So therefore, that is why I came. And right now, it is currently 9:30, and we have Cuban intelligence down in the lobby of the hotel right now, working to essentially try to round us up and potentially imprison us or make it so we cannot leave Cuba. So right now we're coming with a game plan to escape Cuba.
Okay, somebody from the embassy.
Our original flight is to leave on Saturday. Right now it's Thursday.
Oh, that's not okay.
We're going.
Say what you said again. I'm sorry.
Somebody from the embassy should be in contact with somebody from Cuba so they could let him come back, because that's not okay. I disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So, yeah, I'm sure they probably didn't like that he was over there going and making fun of them, but they shouldn't have. He's under lockdown right now. I would be surprised if this turns into like one of those like North Korea incidences where they don't let him go. That would be weird. That would be very bad.
To be clear, he's no longer stuck there. Let me be clear.
Okay.
He's back.
Okay. They probably just scaring him. This is so interesting. They probably just didn't like him, but again, they shouldn't have done that. If they approved his visa and they didn't want anybody to go in there and criticizing them, they should have done some research. But also, you should want different points of views to go in. And he was posted full video. Okay, so they let him go. Okay, that's good. That's crazy. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but when Ryan Graham went over there, he spoke to the third in command in Cuba. Sorry, this is really important. Deputy Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Cosio in Havana, and there is a video recorded interview where he stated that Cuba is prepared to discuss compensation for the nationalized property to facilitate the better relations in U.S. investment. So Cuba has said through their deputy foreign minister, that they are willing to compensate some of the properties that were seized during the Cuban Revolution and that were then nationalized, to compensate some families for that. They also, and this was groundbreaking, said that they are open to a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies and investors, including large-scale infrastructure projects. So Cuba's not fully communist. There's an embargo on that country because they didn't like that a lot of these bourgeoisie, super rich people had a lot of their land confiscated. They wanted to there was a communist revolution, but they confiscated a lot of the rich people's assets, lands, properties, and nationalized them to level out the playing field, right? That's what communism is. They level out the economic playing field. They're willing to compensate some of that property that was already seized. They're willing to open trade negotiations with U.S. companies, but the U.S. is ignoring that because they want to coup Cuba, because they want to completely take over the Cuban government, not just have normal relations and diplomacy, which would be better.
Honestly, though, Cuba is so close to us. We should. Fuck them. We should. I mean, we should. What we're doing in Iran, we should be doing in Cuba.
I agree.
Like we should be doing what we're doing. We should leave Iran alone because we're never going to win that. We should be in Cuba because that's low hanging fruit. That's easy pickings. We could go in there and actually give these people a reason to fucking live, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but National Geographic has done many, many documentaries on what's happening in Cuba. And I feel incredibly terrible for these people. They're communist government, partial communist government, 2% communist, whatever it is. They screwed these people over for decades. What we're doing in Iran, we should be doing in Cuba. Cuba's only 30 miles off the coast of Florida, and it is a national security issue. And we should be securing that landmass, and we should be taking over them and make them another territory like we do Puerto Rico. Would be the intelligent thing to do. It'd be easy for us. It'd be an easy win. And those people honestly need a little bit of American support over there.
Intervention never works. It always leaves the people off worse than before. And whenever the U.S. goes in to try to get something out of it, they don't do it for the people. We're friends with worse people. We're not defenders of democracy, and intervention never works. And there are studies that attribute the majority of the poverty and desperation in Cuba has to do with the illegal embargo. If we truly believe that communism would fail, again, they're not fully communist, then we should leave them the fuck alone and let it fail on its own. But the reason why those people are suffering, and they're suffering so much,
but see, I don't agree with you, because what's going to happen is eventually China and Russia, they're going to come in and save them. And then once again, we have another Chinese, another country in the Caribbean that China has taken over. I've seen it done in my mother's homeland of Jamaica. They've taken it over, and they're in Jamaica, they at least have some sort of government. They are not as desperate and hungry as Cuba ever was. So I can only imagine when China comes in to swoop in, the amount of spying they're going to allow them to do on us. And I'm saying this, I live in a state that's only 90 miles away from Cuba. I agree with Mia. As the proximity is scary to me, I'm going to let Gray get in here because Gray has been very quiet. He's a Floridian as well. Gray, what do you think about Nick Shirley going over there? And do you think we should help Cuba?
I don't know if we should help Cuba, but Nick Shirley credibility is shot because of the cases and the things. Somebody said in the chat that he just goes and tries to get, salacious material. So I feel like his credibility has been shot, but I feel like we previously had good relationship with Cuba when Obama was in office. People was going on cruises, going there and stuff like that. So it completely broke down. So it should be handled through diplomacy if the people are so distraught and going through so much impoverished. If they can buy Greenland, they can buy Cuba.
Well, let me play this clip. Nick Shirley, we've had enough of you. Bye-bye, Nick. This is how bad Cuba is right now. It is really, to Kimberly's point, it is the worst it's ever been. Let me play.
Team inside Cuba, the massive May Day demonstrations there as President Trump increases pressure with new sanctions against the Cuban government. Gas now costing up to $40 a gallon there. So what are the Cuban people saying about their future? Matt Rivers in Havana for us.
Tonight, as thousands of Cubans took to the streets of Havana for May Day, in Washington, President Trump expanding sanctions against the Cuban government. A 4-month U.S. oil blockade already straining a struggling economy, but the U.S. intent on regime change.
That building right there is the U.S. Embassy here in Havana, and today the Cuban government is surging hundreds of thousands of people right past its front door with a clear message. The Cuban government is not backing down.
My bad, y'all. I don't know why this video didn't play, but y'all saw how bad it is. I'm gonna play a clip while everybody talks about it. So Gray, I know in Florida you probably know a lot of Cubans growing up here. What's your thoughts? Do you think that they should be a part of the United States?
The country or the people?
The country. Should we take it?
I mean, are we really gonna take Cuba before making Puerto Rico a state?
Puerto Rico is a territory. I'm saying to take Cuba and have it be a territory like Puerto Rico.
I don't know. I mean, like that's a whole lot of strategic and politics behind that. You can't just completely say, "Oh yeah, we should do this," without a plan or without what's going to happen. Because if you do that, now these people can get services from the government. Now these people can get food stamps. Now these people will get housing. So like you have to go through all these steps and think about all these things. So I don't know.
Okay, so my last question for everybody before we go to the last topic of the night. Do we think Nick Shirley was sent there by the United States government? Mia, yes or no? What's your thoughts?
Can you repeat that again?
Do you think Nick Shirley was sent there by the United States government?
No. Like, don't get me wrong, the government's clowns, but they can send somebody better. We don't need Nick Shirley to go in and investigate Cuba. We know what's going on in Cuba. We have operatives there. We've had operatives there for decades. We pay informants, and we also have surveillance and satellite. We don't need some random guy drifting for low-hanging fruit.
So Kim, what do you think? Why do you think he went there? Did he go there to be a journalist or for nefarious intentions?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's a Fed. I'm not getting that vibe. I don't know enough about him. He got a lot of attention out of it, so good for him.
Well, he's been getting attention. He's the one that exposed the Laring centers over there.
The Laring, yeah, I remember him. You guys, I remember you guys posted him. Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's there on behalf or as a Fed or an informant. I think he just went out there to get, like Gray said, salacious content, and it worked for him. He got a lot. I bet you he's getting news coverage over this.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go to the last topic of the night. If you're watching, please hit that like button. Please hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. The last topic of the night is about the midterms and DeSantis and redistricting. Before we get into it, I'm going to play our good friend of the show, Gray's favorite Nazi. Here we go.
I care about foreign interventions. I care about the border.
He's my favorite Nazi too.
I'm a non-woke moderate Democrat. I think the GOP needs to be destroyed. I think the corrupt criminal government of Trump needs to be slowed down. We need to impeach the orange. It's time to put this nigga in a peach. Trump needs to be placed inside of a crystal. He needs to be impeached. This fat orange, tiny hands needs to be impeached. And then in 28, no Vance, no Rubio. We have to burn down the whole party.
So Gray, I know you're a fan of his undercover. It makes sense. He's a moderate Democrat. The right-leaning, the Republicans, they were right. He is a degenerate Democrat. Not that because he's a Democrat that he's a degenerate, but he's a degenerate plus a Democrat. Anyways, what's your thoughts hearing Nick say he's voting and that he's admitting he's a moderate Democrat?
He's been saying that for a while. And before the election even happened, him and the other white supremacist guy, the one I can't think of his name. I think his last name is Pitzer. They both said that they was going to go with Kamala Harris. So that's not brand new that he's saying that. I think with these right-wing influencers, look at Candace Owens, look at who else? I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't necessarily an influencer, but a lot of these people look for strategic timing when to flip sides, so they know that they're going to get looked at, they're going to get the views, they're going to get a click. So I don't know if that's for his personal brand or if that he really feels that way.
Well, I played that clip to say what's going to happen in the midterms, because Florida has now done something that changes things. Let's watch.
This is Florida's new congressional map. If it looks really red, that's because that was the intention, especially when compared to the previous map. It adds 4 new Republican-leaning districts to a state that was already predominantly Republican. There are 3 areas in Florida that saw their districts turn significantly redder. The first is Tampa. There was a single Democratic congressional district there. The governor's office split that apart. So now there were 3 Republican districts that all share some of the Democratic voters in Tampa. Let's now look at Orlando. That was previously 2 Democratic districts. And what the governor's office did here was pack as many Democratic votes as they could into this 10th district and spread the rest out among neighboring Republican districts. Lastly, the governor's office took aim at South Florida, which includes Miami. They drew a new red district along the beach and packed the Democrats into 3 tight islands. Florida is the latest to redraw its maps ahead of the midterms, and where we end up is with a very slight Republican advantage, likely a handful of seats. Florida's maps, just like any of the maps passed this year, are likely to face legal challenges. Now, at the federal level, that was likely to be a claim of racial gerrymandering, as some of these districts split apart minority communities. But this week, the Supreme Court dealt a blow to a key provision of the Voting Rights Act that effectively prohibited racial gerrymandering. So that argument at the federal level will no longer be able to be used, at least when citing the Voting Rights Act. But there's a bigger hurdle at the state level. And in Florida, that's called the Fair Districts Amendment. Now, what this law did was ban partisan gerrymandering, which is crafting new districts based on politics. But Governor Ron DeSantis, when he introduced these maps, said that the looming Supreme Court decision on racial gerrymandering would undermine the state-level Fair Districts Amendment. So while it's unclear exactly how the Supreme Court decision will impact any state litigation in Florida, it's clear that it will at least reverberate in the legal arguments set to come.
Okay, Gray, my Floridian Democrat on the line. What do you think about what DeSantis did? Are you sad? Do you think Democrats stand a chance here in Florida?
Well, I got something put to my phone that said that it may backfire. So again, if they're basing it on Hispanic voters, you don't know, because Florida's pretty diverse. So trying to gerrymander based on race could possibly backfire, because like the division in this country and the way that people feel is all across a diversity of groups. And so we don't know what's going to happen in the next election. It may work. It may turn Florida all the way red, but it may have the opposite effect.
What is your predictions? Do you think we're going to have a blue wave here in Florida, or do you think it's going to be red again?
I don't know. I can't predict the future.
Bro, you are a political commentator. That's what we do on this show. It's about saying what you see in the trends and your research. Honey, I'm not asking you to be Miss Cleo. I mean, I can tell you, I think it's going to be a little bit more purple than red. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say it's going to be a blue wave, but it's going to be purple, because I honestly think that Trump has done such a terrible job with fixing the cost issue we have in this country. And with gas, we're about to see $5 gas. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Okay,
Anyway.
I'll give you a small prediction. For me, based on age, it's actually a better measurement, because I feel like older people move to Florida, and that's why it's so red. So like unless the older populace stops retiring here or moving here, it's always going to be right-leaning.
So what do you think? And we also passed the SAVE Act. I'll talk about that next and come back to you. Mia, what's your thoughts? This has produced a 20 Republican to 8 Democrat the previous map was 20 Republican, 8 Democrat. The new map, we anticipate 24 Republican and 4 Democrat advantage. Do you think that him redrawing the map was fair, or do you think it is gerrymandering and should be outlawed?
I think all gerrymandering should be outlawed, regardless of who does it. I don't think it's right when Democrats do it. I don't think it's right when Republicans do it. There should never be a supermajority. I mean, everybody is a mix of both everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, that's why I am more for a ranked choice and not an electoral college, because I think ranked choice is much better. It's much fair. It's much free. Because now that Florida is gerrymandered, no matter what happens, your electoral college is always going to vote red, regardless of what the people do at this point in time, because that's how the maps are drawn. And that's basically how the electoral college votes, is basically off of the maps at this point in time. So it's just another way for, I guess, Republicans or anybody in general to try to steal an election, is to gerrymander. Democrats do it all the time. It's just wicked played out at this point in time. I was watching some polling saying earlier that up to 50% of Republicans are so dissatisfied with what's happening with the country that they're not even going to vote. So it doesn't matter if the map is gerrymandered if the people don't go out and vote, because if you don't vote Republican, it's a vote for the Democrats regardless, because Democrats show up consistently at every election. So unless you're out there voting, it doesn't matter what gerrymandered it is. And the pollings are saying a lot of Republicans are dissatisfied and they're not even going to vote because they don't want to vote Democrat, but they don't quite understand that if you don't vote, you're voting Democrat by extension.
That's what happened with in 2016. Because people were so dissatisfied with Barack Obama, more people decided to stay home rather than go out and vote, then voted for like third party, like 3/4. More people stayed home and did not vote, and that's what swayed the election.
And also, as of right now, I mean, a lot of the I'm on Quiver Quantitative right now, and essentially there is going to be a blue wave in the House. It doesn't matter what kind of gerrymandering the Republicans do at this point in time, unless they stop the elections, which Trump has stated he wants to stop the elections to rig the gerrymandering before they hold them. But barring they don't do that, I mean, it's projected to have the Democrats win by 82%, because people are so dissatisfied, because there's multiple states right now outside of California that is gas that's over $6, which wasn't seen under Biden. So, I mean, California is used to having expensive gas. That's normal for them. But for other states to have $6+ in gas is extremely unusual. And most people aren't going to feel that for about another week or two. And then we're really going to see a lot of people start defecting from the Republican Party, because their eggs are gone up, their butter's gone up, their milk's gone up, their bread's gone up, their electricity has gone up, because most people don't realize our electricity comes from fuel most of the time, whether it be natural gas or not, because we're not green energy sufficient in this country. So, I mean, diesel in some places will reach $8, $10, $9, $12. Well, if diesel reaches $12, how much is bread going to cost? Bread's going to be $5 now. Milk's going to be $5 in the mainland. Butter's going to be $8 now.
I agree. And the other thing that happened this week was pretty much, we also passed the SAVE Act, our version of it. I'll play it.
I'll be signing House Bill 991, which is the Florida version of the SAVE Act, which will bolster our election integrity measures. Now, it's interesting. They're proposing the SAVE Act in Washington, D.C. It does a number of things. Well, the original proposal did a lot. It did things not even related to elections only. It did things like ban the mutilation and sex changes for minors, which I obviously support, but we did that years ago in Florida, so that's done. There were other things that we're proposing about protecting women's sports, which I obviously support, but we did that years ago in Florida. And then on some of the voter identification and making sure people are citizens, I support that. But it's interesting, if the Save America Act federally were to be enacted, 99.7% of Florida voters have already complied with what that law requires. And so you're talking in Florida, very small number of people that would, and not to say they're not eligible. I mean, it may have been when they signed up or whatever. So that's pretty impressive that that's where we already are as a state, that this major piece of legislation would have an impact, but it would have a much smaller impact in Florida because we've already done what they're looking to be able to do. But this bill protects and expands integrity in our voter registration process by requiring the verification of U.S. citizenship when you're doing your voter registration. Our Constitution in the state of Florida says only American citizens are allowed to vote in our elections. And so we need to make sure that that is the law. The bill also requires all voting to be done using paper ballots, allowing for a verifiable hard copy in the event of a recount. And we keep all that. We don't, the supervisors do. You have some of these elections that are very close, and sometimes they go through, and you can count by hand and go through and do that. And I think you need physical evidence. I've never supported the idea that you just vote on a computer, because who knows what's happening with those. So this way, if there's a dispute, you just grab the ballots, you go through, you have observers, and people are able to see for themselves. We're also making sure that when you're providing information or identification, that we're using secure forms of identification. So we're not using, we tried to do this years ago, legislature didn't do it, but they finally did it now, about these student IDs. I mean, a student ID does not mean you are a resident of the state of Florida. Student ID means you're going to school. Now, most of our state universities, our undergrad is 90% in-state, system-wide, but still, that doesn't mean that that's everybody. So they're not doing that. You got to have a valid ID that proves that you are a resident of the state of Florida.
So, Gray, what do you think about this? He's really cracked down on the whole voting.
I think it's a big thing with people because people are constantly talking about voter ID. I was watching CNN and they even did it based on race, and all white people want it, all black people want it, all Hispanic people want it. So there's a big topic. So I don't know if it's the actual popular opinion or what's going on, but people feel like they want you to show your ID when you vote. So I guess it's based on the polls, not based on someone's personal feelings.
Yeah, for sure. Mia, what's your thoughts on the whole SAVE Act? Do you think other states should pass this as well?
Sure. I mean, if you are an American citizen, this is water under the bridge. You're an American citizen. I don't get what the big deal is about the SAVE Act. I, honest to God, don't understand. If you're an American citizen, you have a birth certificate, you get a real ID, you can get whatever you need. You have a social security card. You literally have every piece of identification is given to you by the government, literally. So anybody who's against the SAVE Act's an idiot. I'm sorry, but if you're an American citizen, you're an American citizen. You can prove it. I mean, we need to stop treating people, infantizing people, and acting like regular people can't get IDs, regular people can't get a hold of birth certificates, regular people can't go to the Social Security office and get a hold of their cards. Like, come on, we got to treat people like adults. If you're too lazy to get a copy of your birth certificate or get a copy of your Social Security card or whatever, dude, that's what you should be voting anyways.
A lot of other countries require ID, so I'm not against it either. Also, we don't need to coddle people. Like, you can get an ID. It's not that hard. If you think if they think it, I know that there's an argument that they think it like targets impoverished people. Maybe there can be an incentive to cover the cost from the state. How much is an ID in your states? I think here you could get one for like $80.
$35.
Yeah,
it's cheap. It's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Sure, cover the cost. Like,
But it's one of those things where it's like it's a basic part of being an adult. And this is my biggest crux is everybody continuously talks about, well, not everybody has access to a driver's license. So when you talk to people about ID, everybody cites this one specific study from, I believe, the University of Michigan or the University of Wisconsin, and it has something to do with driver's licenses. You don't need a driver's license in order to vote. You need an ID. You need a state issued ID. You can get a non-driver's ID, which is just as, it's no different than a driver's license. Plenty of people out here do not drive and have state issued IDs that they got with their birth certificate and their social security card and whatnot. I mean, it's literally that simple. We need to stop infantizing people. And people use this argument all the time, and they keep saying it disenfranchises Black Americans, and I freaking hate it. I've never met a Black American in my entire almost 40 years of existence that doesn't have an ID. Every single one of us have IDs. You know how many people go down to New York City, the Bronx, whatever, and they'll ask them, do you have an ID? They all say yes. Do you know where the DMV is? They all say yes. People like Kathy Hochul, because she's a piece of shit, will be like, oh, well, Black people don't have access to this, and we don't have access to phones, and we don't have access. Stop treating us like fucking infants. We can do everything everybody else can do. If you're dumb and you can't get a hold of your own birth certificate and your social security card and a light bill to prove that you, or, you know, your lease or your mortgage or whatever, you're an idiot. You shouldn't vote anyways. Period. Like, if you're that lazy with your life that you can't get a couple pieces of documentation so you can vote, voting doesn't matter enough to you, and I don't care if you vote.
You know, I tell my kids, there's this quote that I tell my kids all the time whenever they say something's too hard. Well, I say two things, but one of them is, todo tiene solución. Everything has a solution. Like, don't give me the problem, give me a solution. And then when they say, oh, it's too hard or this and that, I always say, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. If there's, the only thing I could think of is like maybe remove the requirement for a permanent address so that people who don't have a permanent address can vote. But I don't know. But there's a way around it. Other countries do it, so it's really not that big of a deal. I think it could be done. I'm not against it.
I agree.
I mean,
Well, yeah. This was a great talk, guys. If you're watching, please hit that notification bell so you know. We're going to wrap up and do our closing thoughts. Ladies first. Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are we should turn Cuba into a territory. Everything that we're doing in Iran, we should be doing in Cuba, and we should turn Cuba into a territory and rescue those people. And Nick Shirley's a grifter, and he's grabbing low-hanging fruit. That's it.
I agree with you. Kimberly, what's your closing thoughts?
Free Puerto Rico, leave Cuba alone. There is such thing as diplomacy. People don't like us because we go around terrorizing other people. Other people don't want us to take over their countries. Most people who immigrate here, even for economic reasons, would prefer to stay in their countries and possibly just come like on a temporary work visa here, like they used to in the 80s, and then go back home to their families. Hubris is what killed the Roman Empire. But I appreciate all of your points of view. I love Cuba. I send love to all my Cuban friends out there. It's hard. I wish I could do more. I wish we were all on the same page. We just leave Cuba alone. Lift the embargo. Leave them alone. These people are suffering. And thanks for listening to my ugly, sick voice and my non-makeuped face. I appreciate you all. Have a good night.
You didn't sound that bad. You look beautiful. Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be back tomorrow. I'll be hosting. Have a great night.
Oh man, you had to say that. What's the topic? You didn't even say that.
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, he's not sure yet. Okay. Well, guys, for me, if you're watching, thank you for rocking with us. Make sure you guys put that notification bell so you know when we go live. But yeah, I personally think I'm with Ray. We need a new Sandals resort. I don't need China. I don't need Russia. I don't need them spying on us. I don't need them building nukes over there. I need a sandals resort. Now, but in all seriousness, really pray for Cuba. They are going through a lot. $40 gas is killing. I mean, I could only imagine how they're feeling it if I'm feeling it for $5 gas. Oh, this too. I actually had a nice conversation with Slim, and Slim agrees with this, guys. Slim thinks we should have universal health care. This too. I'm with you, Eric. But anyways, guys, please hit that notification bell. Thank you guys for all your support. God bless. Stay safe. And keep your head on that swivel. And Grace's words, always vote, always vote. Good night.
Hello, history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of future. A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls. To the encampment for freedom of future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is robbed by. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, flapping.